I'm so happy this song has the build-up that it does. But I'm going to have a whole lot of fun on this episode.
I was going to say, I wish I could hear the song.
Oh, yeah, you guys can hear this playing through the aux.
Yeah.
That's what happens. But I do want to go ahead and give a shout-out to somebody, but I'm going to go ahead and let this rock for a little bit. Jaden Smith Icon is playing right now. I'll explain shortly. Welcome to episode 4 of the OD podcast.
Woo! You made it.
If you guys are wondering what I'm looking up at, again, I keep saying it, but it's a sports person's heaven right now. I'm in Westgate, Las Vegas. I'm inside the Superbook right now. Sports everywhere.
Yeah, it's insane.
This is
I
insane.
need this in my room.
This is officially our redo episode, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
This is officially our redo episode. So, once again, welcome to episode 4 of the OD podcast. I am your host, Terrell Chatterbox Emerson, and with my co-host, Alex White. And you brought somebody with you today, right?
Yes, I did.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about it. Tell me about it.
Hey, everyone. This is Corey. Corey, say hello.
Hello, thanks for having me, guys.
No
I'm glad to
worries.
be here at the Westgate. We got
Yes.
a good sports atmosphere here, so
It's everywhere. Like, and you know the weird thing? The first time we came here, I think it was somewhere between 11. It might have been right before midnight. And I think we went into about 2:30, almost 3. Like you said, that sports atmosphere never changes. Like, that stays in here 24/7. So everywhere you look, somebody's engaged in something.
yeah,
So
yeah. I was down here picking up Super Bowl prop bets before the Super Bowl, and I got to tell you, even on a Thursday afternoon, this place was going. So
You
it's a good
want
place.
Something
to
about
bring
it.
up the Super Bowl already?
I didn't
it-
want to. I'm telling you right now.
You
I'm
can.
still recovering. I'm recovering.
Huge Rams fan.
I was about to say you must be a Ram fan.
Huge Rams fan. Medina, we miss you. I wish you were here
Yes,
with
we
us.
don't have Medina here. I don't even know if anybody can see my face, but we don't have Medina here. But lucky for you, I mean, that would have been an awkward conversation.
Listen, this is how I look at it. I'm over it. You know, it's like kind of like when you break up with an ex. You just got to tell yourself it was for the better. It's we're moving on to better things.
Even if you're lying to yourself, you'd be like, you know what?
There was a lot of crying sessions.
I'm a better man for that.
But no, for real, it was a good thing because here's why. I saw a lot of first-time mistakes out of Goff in that game and McVay. So let's straighten it out, move forward because I feel like they got a good culture going forward. So
Wait, hold on. Have you watched it yet?
No, I
my
still haven't watched it
gosh.
yet. I thought I was watching it with you guys.
Okay.
Yeah. I took it. You got to go back and watch episode. What episode was it? It was 1 and episode 2.5. I'll explain why I wasn't watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up sitting out a year. But in order to watch the first game, I told them I watched the Super Bowl, but they supposed to watch it with me.
All right.
So
All right,
until we
tell
figure
me
out
when.
an afternoon, I mean,
I could really watch that game again though. And I know like a lot of people are like, it's the worst Super Bowl ever.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, it was for a defensive-minded team.
Yes.
It was good.
Yes.
Everybody held down their job, and I knew looking at it going in, it was going to come down to 1 or 2 plays, and it just did. It came
Yeah.
down to that. It came down to that big Gronk pass, and then it came down to the interception by Goff.
Yeah.
And that's what sealed it. So
Yeah.
but my family literally had to watch at the game. I went to the bathroom to go to the bathroom, and they were like, "Where'd he go? Keep an eye on him," because it was that bad. So.
I was just about to say they didn't want to let you out their sights at all.
No. I woke up the next day and my wife was like, "How's it going?" I was like, "I don't even know what we're doing today." I was like, "I don't even know. I got work, but
I have no plans.
Yeah, I went in. It was just a bad day. So.
Super Bowl
It's good to
hangover.
know that I'm not the only person that feels that way after your team gets bounced from the postseason. Because it's like the day after, everybody usually kind of walks up to you and they're like, "Man, sorry. How's everything going?" And it's just like, damn it, is that really going to be the first thing you bring up to me? But
Right.
usually it is.
All right, tell Corey who your team is
For which sport?
for NFL.
NFL, I'm a Packer fan.
Okay.
I'm a Packer fan. So
Okay.
I'm hoping we can get Aaron one more. There's
Yeah.
no way that talent should ever retire with one, but I've been shocked before.
Yeah. I mean, they're not doing him any favors right now, but
I agree.
but that division's getting a little tougher with the Bears too. So it's getting more challenging. Before, back in the day, they had it a little bit wide open.
Oh yeah, easy. It was
Now
easy
that's
before.
getting challenging.
It was easy before, but I mean, and even then, I guess what I will concede now, I was not sold on Mitchell Trubisky. Oh my gosh, when they moved up to draft him, I was like, take him, go ahead, have the time of your life. So then when I seen that they were building through defense, I was like, okay, I still think he's gonna lose you games.
Yep.
He just doesn't do it.
It was
He
that Khalil
doesn't
Mack.
lose you
It was
games.
Dude, when Khalil Mack came in that first game of the week of NFL, I saw that game. I was like, what'd they just do? I was like, Khalil Mack just did everything. He literally sacked, strip sack, and then pick six. I was like,
They almost won that game off of him alone. Off of him alone.
No,
And
yeah.
my brother being a Raider fan, I contacted him immediately and was like, and again, I don't even think I knew at the time that I was gonna sit out the season. But I had let him know. I was like, you know what? Thanks.
Yeah.
And he was like, for what? And I was like, thanks for just giving Khalil Mack to my division and not to us. And he was like, damn it, you think I wanted him to leave? Like, I didn't have a say in that. So, I mean, I don't know. It was just it was the worst conversation in the world because he didn't want it to happen. I didn't want it to happen. It had already happened. It's the worst. Why do the Lakers have 10 points right now?
What do you mean?
They've almost played 9 minutes or so in the first quarter, and they have 10 points.
Yeah.
All
they're
right.
playing
You
the
guys don't care? I don't care.
They're playing the future MVP in Giannis, so I mean,
Whoa,
they're playing the future
that was
MVP.
a topic I wanted to talk about.
So
All right. Is that where we jump in now? So,
Yeah,
I
I
mean, go
guess
ahead.
so.
Go ahead. Lead the conversation because I'm not sure I agree.
You don't?
I'm
Okay,
not
so
sure I
here's
agree.
my question is, I'm getting kind of worried on why people aren't talking about Paul George anymore.
You know what's crazy, and it's gonna sound unfortunate, but being a Pacer fan is gonna sound like hate, but it's absolutely not. PG, this is his first time in the conversation, and I believe that if you just go back and look at history, I don't think anybody wins it on their first time that they're in the conversation. I think maybe the one that you can go back to and probably say is Steph. And even then, I don't think Steph deserved his first one. I thought James deserved it that year. And Steph deserved the next one, whatever. But I don't think PGA get it this particular year only because he's not a perennial MVP candidate. They want to see him do that on a more consistent level. But because of that, like I said, the answer might shock you, but obviously I just X'd out the other two. But the answer might shock you because everybody feels like I hate this person, but my MVP vote would be James Harden. The only reason why...
Finally, you're on board. We
Yeah,
talked about
I never
this
was off
weeks
board.
ago.
Are you
I never was
Are you
off.
Harden?
I just think it's incredible what he's doing. His 30-point game streak, and then what happened last night? How many points did
58?
he? Yes.
58?
That's like his sixth 50-point game this season.
He continues to do it.
Yeah.
He continues to do it. I mean, and again, like I said, the thing that I always go back to, the thing that I will stand by when it comes to James Harden is James Harden does not need to be in the conversation. I don't care what numbers he put up. I don't care only because the NBA has changed, but he doesn't belong in the same sentence as Wilt Chamberlain. The only reason why they're doing it is because they're saying greatest offensive player or greatest offensive scorer, whatever they want to say, doesn't need to happen. Because like I said, in my mind, you're not even Kobe level. And I stand by that. And like I said, you could point to the numbers, you could say anything else, you could say everything else, but if you look at probably how much both teams are winning, Kobe did it the same way without having to necessarily shoulder that load every single time. So
I told
I don't
you.
feel like he's a better
I
offensive
told
player
you
than
he's a
Kobe.
Kobe fan.
And like I said, Kobe's first ring came against us. Kobe's first ring came against us, so I should hate him. But Kobe kept Reggie from getting one. So I should absolutely hate that man. But I mean, I can't.
No.
But honestly, long story a little less long, James Harden is my answer. Only reason
Okay.
why is because when you look at how long Chris Paul went down, and he continues to go down every year. When you look at how long Clint Capella went down, them trying to integrate Melo at first, them keeping Melo out, and then eventually getting rid of Melo, things of that nature, just dealing with all the turmoil that he's dealt with. I try to hold true to what the award is, and most valuable player, I don't think it's hard to argue because even when you look at Milwaukee, you can say what you want about Giannis. They have Coach Bud. Obviously, you never wish injury on a player, but if Giannis missed a couple of games, the Bucks would be fine.
I think they already wasn't he out a few games and they
I'm not even sure.
down or something? But I don't know. But I agree with you though. Harden is getting it, and it's just because of the numbers.
Is he getting it though? I think Giannis might get it, even though I think James should.
It feels like the populace shifted towards Giannis, but I feel like he's gonna get it because of the numbers. And it's more or less Giannis is the eyeball test. You could see a better player there. You could see more athleticism. You could see a guy that can play both sides of the ball, defense, offense. He does the LeBron James sprint down the other side of the court, swat the ball from behind. But in all the numbers, it's just the gaudy stuff. It's got the 50 points, the 30 game streak, all that stuff, the 30-point streak.
I just think I'm sorry, really quick, just before I fully cut you off, Chris Paul before he came back, I think the Rockets were in 5th. So my only question becomes if James, for instance, missed, I don't know, let's say he only missed between 6 and 8 games, the Rockets are probably 11th right now. Yeah. So that's what I kind of look at.
Ironically, you cut me off at a perfect time because I was going to say I respect that you're saying Harden right now because I know you are a Chris Paul fan. And
Super
I know
Chris
that
Paul
you,
fan.
Respect him a lot too. So the fact that you're saying that James Harden picked up the team and
he did.
This,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think even Chris would tell you that. At least I would hope so.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if anyone's listening to us or our votes, but
They should.
I think we're all in.
They definitely should. Hey, all right. Shout out to Juice on the big screen. All right, we see you.
But the
Get well
green
soon,
screen
Juice.
is just something else too.
I'm telling you, if he develops a jump shot, he'll be.
Yeah.
Honestly, now that I think about it, even then, because I don't even think it would be necessarily surprising because even if Giannis develops a jump shot, I think that it doesn't necessarily make him better than Anthony Davis, I don't feel.
No. If he develops a jump shot, he'd be probably
unstoppable though.
Yeah.
The most,
sure.
I think Stephen A. Smith might have said something. Stephen A. Smith said he may not be the best offensive player. He may be the most dominant.
Yeah.
He may be the one that you probably really can't do anything with.
Well,
Can't put anybody in front of him.
He's like a lanky LeBron James. It's just the dude's fast. He sprints like a deer down the court. And I mean, if he just starts working his perimeter shot, it's lights out. I mean, it's crazy.
I feel like I need to tell everybody this anytime we have a conversation about Giannis. But we were at Summer League, and a lot of us saw Giannis for the first time. So we were like, okay. And when we saw him, I kind of laughed, and I was like, and I looked at the person next to me and was like, hey, I have a question. He was like, what? I was like, how much would I have to pay you to slapbox Giannis right now? He just looked at me and was like, dude, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. It'd have to be some contract negotiations for that one.
Okay, so this wasn't his first year. Because his first year, he was pretty how much he's evolved and changed is incredible.
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at him, you look at Steven Adams when he first came into the league. I'm not even sure. Andre Drummond to a lesser degree, but just watching some of the players just develop into whatever they're going to turn into, it's Anthony Davis. Even Anthony Davis. You know what? I was actually talking to Caprice about it, and by the way, that's who the camera person is today. Shout out to Caprice.
Hey, Caprice.
Hey, there we go. We got a wave. I feel special. So, but no, I was talking to Caprice, and I was telling her when Paul George was drafted, he was 6'7" or either 6'8". And because when she saw him, she was like, he looks pretty tall. And I was like, yeah, probably pushing 6'11". And she was like, didn't you say that he got drafted at 6'8", 6'7"? And I was like, yeah. She was like, how did he keep growing? I don't know. If I had the answers, I would keep growing. I'm not sure.
I had no idea he was that tall.
Paul George is pretty tall. And that just drives home the fact, because at USA Basketball, when you see Paul George and you realize he could be a legitimate 6'11", maybe 6'10" for sure, that's when you look at KD and you're like, oh, bro, you're lying. You're 7'1". I think you're 7-something. That's insane. So to see him pull up from 30 feet is crazy.
What do you mean?
KD?
Yeah.
He's listed as 6'10" or 6'11".
So wait, you're saying he's taller?
Yeah, Boogie is listed as DeMarcus Cousins is listed as 6'11", and KD's taller than Boogie. Yeah, KD is crazy.
Back to that Paul George discussion though. I don't think he's getting the MVP because Russell Wilson. When you have
Russell Westbrook.
Or Russell, I'm sorry, yeah.
All good.
when I see a player like that on a team, it's hard to to decipher who, because he's putting up numbers too. So it's really hard to say it's all Paul George and to give him the unanimous. Like you said, if James Harden misses games, Giannis misses games, what happens? But if he were to miss games, I feel like they would still coast well. So it's hard to say, well, you're the unanimous player, the MVP on this team. But still, hands down,
that is a very good point.
He's doing it this year, though. He's still putting up numbers, and he's still up there in the discussion, top 3. So
it's just crazy to me. In our episode 2,
Mm-hmm.
the one that is out there,
The lost
somewhere,
episode.
yeah,
The lost episode.
we were talking with your friend.
Duna.
Yes.
Oh, shout out to Duna. Duna
Yes.
just turned 21.
Yeah,
Happy birthday,
happy
Duna.
birthday.
We owe you. If you wasn't sick, I swear you lucked out.
But he
Continue.
said Paul George was his MVP. And
Yes.
that was like 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
It was a 3-headed race up until now, and then.
And Paul George has
these
only
two-
gotten better since then.
But now the talk is just about these two.
It's not like anybody's falling off right now, at least. That's probably what it's going to end up taking. But
Yeah.
nobody's falling off right now. It's just some people are just out, you know what I mean, ahead of PG.
Hey, the Lakers are holding on right now.
Yes. And I just realized that I played Icon and didn't even explain why I played Icon. But I played Icon because right before I even left to come here, news broke that, again, and as I said before, I don't care if it's his dad. I don't care who else is behind him or whatever the case may be. But it took a 20-year-old. It took Jaden Smith to organize something to where he's helped facilitate something where Flint, Michigan is now about to get clean water. That's a 20-year-old. So that's just, I wanted to play Icon because a lot of people sing it and a lot of people rap it and a lot of people just feel like it's an energy or it's a vibe or whatever the case may be. At 20 years old, this man is actually becoming an icon in front of us. And, I mean, say what you want about him. Say whatever you will about Jaden. Say that it's his dad putting his money behind him. Somewhere down the line, this was in his head. This was in his mind. And I was talking to somebody earlier, and they were like, he probably had it in the works for the longest. So I just definitely wanted to commend Jaden because that news broke. And it's just so funny because so many stories were going around about all these celebrities in the world. Like, somebody could probably piece up and figure out something. All the celebrities, everybody that's made it out of Michigan, somebody should be able to do something. And lo and behold, it took a 20-year-old named Jaden Smith. But shout out to him for that, for sure.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and that's good, too, because that situation was really bad. And it continued to get worse. And for him to step up, that's awesome.
And as it continued to get worse, the conversation continued to dwindle, which was the weirdest thing in the world.
As we live in Twitter and Facebook world, we move on. We move on. So it's like people get forgotten. So for him to remember that, that's huge. That's huge.
That is a good point. That is a good point. How quickly we move on from things on the internet can't be at a healthy rate. There's no way. We're consuming too much too fast.
Yes, absolutely. How are you feeling about these races going on? Because you just told me on Monday
Yes.
that you have a
Yes. I have a
you
big
have a past with the horse
Yeah.
race. Were there any Greyhound races that you and your dad went to?
never any Greyhound races. Ironically enough, I don't think I believed Greyhound races were real until I think high school.
Really?
And I was like, oh, this is like a real thing? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I mean, all right, I guess people could bet on that too, right? But nah, I never really got into it. I've only really kind of stuck with the horses. And again, like I said, I think it's just mainly because of just what my dad was into when I was growing up. But it's interesting. Wow, Chicago and Atlanta are in 4 overtimes right now.
That's unheard of in the NBA. They barely go to overtime. Did you realize that?
Yeah, because everybody's scoring 140, so somebody's gonna gas out eventually.
Yeah.
That's true, but college basketball goes into overtime
Because the points are harder to come by.
way more.
Way harder to come by. Wait, did you see that San Diego State UNLV game? Did you guys catch? Okay, so you caught it. Yeah. Corey, so a lot of people were saying in that first 10 minutes that, man, these are just 2 really, really bad offensive teams.
Right.
No, I think these are just 2 really, really good defensive teams.
For sure. Yeah, and that was, to hold that up against with San Diego State, that was huge for UNLV. That was huge because, that's always been a tough opponent for them. But, UNLV,
Alrighty, what was you saying, Corey?
I was saying on the San Diego State UNLV game, did you guys see that fake timeout
Mm-hmm.
they pulled?
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
Led to
what?
3 points.
Tell
Yep,
me.
it sure did.
Go ahead, Corey.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm probably gonna forget the names. Something I can't remember them off the top of my head. But San Diego State player, they were acting like they were calling a timeout. He started dribbling to the sideline, and UNLV player came up.
Amari bit.
Amari
bit.
Yep. And he was gonna. The guy was leisurely dribbling the ball. He was gonna try to swipe the ball away. Dude, last second, dipped him. He went out of bounds. He passed the ball to the corner. Dude shot a 3, and
Mbake fouled him.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. So, you know what's crazy, too? After the game, the press conference, I think it was Mike Grimala from the Las Vegas Sun. He was like, Mbake, what did you see on that foul call? And he said it. He was like, first thing came out of his mouth, he was like, I think they were trying to call a timeout. He thought they called it.
Yeah.
He saw the ball go to the corner. He was a little confused. He closed out because he didn't want to get there late. He said in hindsight he obviously knew what corrections he should have made. But I think right after that, I think it was a follow-up question was like, oh, so were you guys shorted? Like, he called a timeout. And him and Noah in the same instance was like, yep, absolutely positive.
Wow.
Absolutely positive. Because you know what? Because I was sitting next to somebody, too, and I believe his name is Brian Dutcher. I don't want to get his name wrong. I hope I'm not butchering it. But the weirdest thing in the world, because now I got to put down the mic, but this is the way he was on the sideline. And then when the shot went up in the corner, he was like,
oh, dirty.
and then it's
dirty.
so awkward because when he caught the next time out, when I think Watson was bringing the ball up the court, he looked at the referee and was like, and started smiling, and I was like, that's when I was like, okay, I don't think that was on accident anymore. So, it is what it is at this point. I mean,
I don't know. Rebels, the basketball program, I just feel like needs to back Marvin Menzies a little more because we forget where we were when Chris Beard dipped on us and went to Texas Tech, and Marvin Menzies came in, and we thought, oh my God, this guy's coming in. We got, Rick Pitino guy and, what he was doing. I forget. He was over at New Mexico State. Yep. And it was like, here's what he's going to come in and change things. And now it's like, we're all turning our back. You can't do that. You don't change a program like that.
Exactly.
You gotta stick it out. So,
exactly.
I'm just let him get working. So.
Well, how many years does it take to really turn a program around?
Well, you gotta also understand when you take it over and what position you take it over at. And I think when Coach took over the team, he had 2 players on the roster, and I think the only one that was his was Ben Coupette, who's still there right now. And
well, he's done a great job with recruiting.
yeah,
right?
absolutely. Because and people would like to say now, look, hindsight, they'll say no that he didn't. But I don't know. In 2 years here, he got the top player in community college to take UNLV over Kansas, number 1. That's number 1, and even then, thinking about that too, it's a person that's from New Jersey. And I'm talking about Shakur Juiston, who I just gave a shout out on right before we actually took the break, looking up at the TV, but he got Shakur, who, like I said, is from Jersey. Shakur is from Jersey, and ironically enough, one of the things when I was looking at his offers, the Kansas one did kind of stand out to me, but the other one was Rhode Island. Only because Rhode Island is a team that can play Cinderella any given year, and it's closer to home. Right. So that was just one of the questions that I wanted to ask him, and I can get into that answer if you guys honestly wanted me to. But for him to see him completely sway somebody who I don't believe had the intention to come to UNLV originally, so to completely sway somebody in that sense, to get Brandon McCoy at a time when everybody wanted him. I don't know. I don't necessarily see where you go wrong in terms of looking at what Coach has done. So now that you say that, though, I do want to throw one thing at you, obviously. At that San Diego State game, Coach was greeted with boos. And I was a little confused, and I was like, what's going on? Yeah. So I'm sure you've heard about the comments and things like that. I didn't know anything about the comments, so I didn't want to comment on them until I went home and read them. Right. But I went home, read them. I actually discussed it a little bit on Monday, but I just want to know what were your thoughts a little bit about it?
Well, I didn't know anything about the comments either, and I did not read up on them. But when I heard the boos, again, I just felt like what are we doing here? As a program, you just got this guy. What was it, 2 seasons ago?
3 seasons
ago.
ago.
3 seasons ago, and it's like you're now just turning our backs. I always have a staple, whether it's football, basketball. You don't build a program, you got to give them 5 years. You got to give them 5 years minimum. And to just start booing him because of comments that were made or something, I mean, you're about to pick up Rick Pitino. I mean, come on. Like, you're about to grab Rick Pitino. Like, what are you guys getting all mad over comments when, like, you got that waiting on the wing?
It's like there's no way you're ready for that.
You just threw your moral compass out the window.
Yeah.
So now this is what you're going to rule your moral compass out? Like, I mean, I don't know. It was just, I think it's just more fans upset with where the winning is versus what was said. If he said that and they were winning, it would have
been absolutely
lost in just translation, but it's just where we're at right now. So,
and that's the saddest thing, though. But I think that's probably a bigger conversation that we'll probably have you back on for. But just the conversation in college sports in general is winning trumps all. It's not even college football. It's not even college basketball. It's college sports. So that's a bigger conversation.
Yeah, but I mean, should it not?
Should it not trump all? Not all.
Not like we should take Rick Pitino so we can start winning.
That's
no,
not
I don't
work.
want to like throw out our moral compass like
Right,
that, and I
right.
don't want all the negative media on us
Right.
with that. But I'm just saying, if you're not winning it to some point. But I agree with you. I think that the coach needs like 5 years because you got to recruit your own guys. You got to build your team, and you got to have them buy into your system. So if you have guys that were recruited from the coach before you, they're not necessarily going to buy into your system. They didn't recruit you. So
you didn't sit in their living room. You didn't talk to them.
Period.
So
I was just about to say, you didn't make the trip to come talk to them.
You're lost. It's all falling on deaf ears. So, I mean, but.
And that kind of ties into our generation because, our generation's pretty
I mean, I think Corey kind of touched on it earlier. I mean, once you realize how quickly we move on from things, that's the reason why we have the outlook that I believe that we have on everything. But I mean, again, we have at least two more opportunities to see how the Thomas and Mack Greets coach. We have one more home game. Completely UNLV'd out. Senior night. Please show up and support Chris. Please show up and support Noah.
Yes.
I know this season
and my cheerleaders.
Yes, and your cheerleaders, senior girls. Yes, senior boys and girls. Yes. I'm like I said, tomorrow, any senior night I get excited for. I get excited for any senior night.
Noah is a Gorman alum with me.
Yes, and I was just about to say, watching Noah this season and just being, I'm not even going to say close, but being semi-close to just the process and the situation and seeing how it's played out.
Oh, he's improved so much.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
absolutely.
incredible.
But if you want to talk about a person enjoying the ride, oh man, Noah he's taking this full opportunity, and like I said, the interviews after tough losses, and
I hate to say this, but
What's up?
He should have had that last shot against SDSU.
It was a miscommunication, and they explained it. They explained it after the game in the press conference, and Noah said it blatantly. He said, because leaving the huddle, he said Amari asked him a question, and he said he looked at him and was like, "What?" Like, he didn't understand the question. But I guess because of that, Amari was like, never mind. Like, I think I got it. So Noah said he didn't realize, I guess, in the moment that he was asking about a separate play. He thought he was talking about a previous play. He didn't know that he was asking, was that the play they were running now? So when Noah said he inbounded the ball or got that ball inbounded to him, he was like, Amari started running something different. So that's why he looked at Amari and was like, no, like, get back to the other spot. And Amari's looking at him like, that's what I just asked you. So that's what, and Noah took it on his shoulders and was like, that was me. Like, he asked me coming out the huddle. I didn't get it. Like, so, I mean, it was definitely a miscommunication, but especially watching the game live in that moment, you could tell that something was off, but just to see right after the game, both of them knew instantly, like, oh, okay, we knew exactly what it was. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Okay,
that's a tough
sorry.
one.
No, I was just going to say, going back to your senior night, everybody go out there, support it.
Please, please.
It's not about this year, it's about the bigger picture. You know, when they brought Lon Kruger in, one of the things he did was he said, why are we shunning Tarkanian and all these guys? Let's bring them into the fold. That's how we get recruits. If you don't think that coaches won't want to come here, people won't want to come here because of bad fan base or, stuff like that, you've got to show up. It's got to be big picture stuff.
I agree. Far too many times, and I mean, being somebody who's not from Vegas, not originally from Vegas, to hear the stories about the Thomas and Mack and to get the opportunity to cover the team as closely as I do, there are far too many times I'm sitting at Thomas and Mack and I'm just taking in the ambiance, and I'm like, I see too many chairs. Like, I see the backs of too many chairs still. So I think the Arizona game was one. The OT Arizona game was
Okay, I think the SDSU game
probably
was
the
so
best
much
one,
fun.
Okay, so I have a question.
And
So
the
in
fans were
comparison,
up and they were yelling.
in comparison, was it better than Arizona?
I remember I had to leave early for Arizona.
Oh,
last
you had to
year.
leave early. Oh man,
Yes.
Arizona. I'm serious. I thought my eardrums were about to pop.
Yeah, I
It was
I
crazy.
assume that one was probably even better. But I was impressed with our fans too, because they were
Oh,
up
yeah.
on their feet. They were yelling like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they
I was
wanted-
happy, and I think a lot of times our fans. Wow, bruh. I think a lot of times that our fans don't. They don't do. And again, this is gonna sound crazy, but our students on campus, our student fans, a lot of them do not do their research. So they come into the game and they're just like, "Oh, we're playing Reno, we're playing whoever the case may be." But that Arizona game, they knew DeAndre Ayton, they knew he was gonna be the #1 overall pick. They were like, "We don't care. You're going home with a loss." To play that game so tightly, to make it to overtime, that I don't think anybody beats or anything beats that for me right now, at least.
No,
The home game against UNR when we won the Cannon was pretty fiery too. But again, I don't think anything beats that Arizona game.
You just slipped that in there. The cannon
I had
is
to.
red.
The cannon
had
is
to.
red.
Cannon
The
is
cannon
red.
is red.
Just in case you forgot.
Okay, so now my Bucks are down by 3.
Yes, they are. This game is gonna be so good though. So I'm gonna have to go home and watch it again. But look, LeBron is a freak of nature. Like,
Okay, can I get this in writing?
what do you mean? Why does everybody think I'm a LeBron hater?
Because every time I bring up LeBron, and that our first podcast ever, I said he was like the most athletic.
Yeah, and I just
Person
don't. I don't
alive
agree.
right now.
And
You
I
don't
just
agree
don't
that
agree.
he's the most athletic?
Most athletic human being?
Oh, no.
No.
I thought you were
That's
saying in the
crazy.
NBA or
Even in the NBA, I don't know, man. Vince Carter's 42, still doing 360s. I don't know. LeBron has yet to compete in the dunk contest.
Yeah, so Corey,
Whether
we
he
have
likes
we have a
creativity or
list
whatever.
That's being made about the top 10 most.
Oh yeah, this is
athletic
fun. This is
people.
fun.
And we're trying. Pretty much, we know that it's like a pretty broad statement.
the
most
top
athletic.
10 most what though?
Most
Athletic people.
But our,
Most athletic people.
yeah, so we're kind of.
We didn't really have any parameters on it, really, though.
The only thing is, we kind of said you have to be able to switch sports, right? That's kind of.
Well, that's what I base mine on,
yeah,
off of a lot of.
Based it off of.
That's how I look at it. Yeah.
So based on that, I mean, mine was Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson,
Easy.
and Vince Carter. Those are my 3. Those are my 3 that I had, and I think Duna gave us Serena Williams, Michael Phelps, Usain Bolt.
I was gonna say Usain Bolt.
that's-
I was gonna say
Okay.
Honestly, I think Usain Bolt has to be in the top
we're
3
putting you
regard.
on
Like,
the
if we're
spot.
doing like a top
Yeah.
10,
Yeah.
he's guaranteed
Because
in
you
the
can
top
throw
3.
him as a wide receiver in a lot of NFL teams and just hit him on
How
the
do you
street.
know?
Oh,
How do you know he can catch a ball?
He just at the catch a ball. I mean,
How do you know?
I'm willing to bet my money he can.
all right.
He can
I
run,
went.
right? He can run.
I went to the Nike store
You
at
should put
Caesars.
him on-
Those gloves, you can stick anything on those gloves.
That is true. That
You know
is
anything
you should
true.
put him on the soccer field first, though.
Oh yeah, imagine Usain Bolt playing soccer.
Yeah.
Nobody's catching him. That's
No.
nobody's
Oh, you know,
catching
I
him.
was trying to think of the most athletic from each sport too. Would you
Ooh.
say Messi for soccer? Because I know I'm a Neymar fan, but I'm like alone in that. Because everybody always,
Yeah, I'd probably say him.
talks
I'd probably say
about-
Messi. Yeah,
Messi,
I'd probably say
right?
him.
Messi.
Yeah.
I was gonna try to make an argument for Ronaldo, but
No.
in terms of
Okay.
athletic, yeah, Messi.
Okay,
Messi.
so where are we going with tennis? This is hard because there's like
Serena.
Yeah.
No. Okay, Serena already has the female. We
Right.
need the male tennis player.
I think Serena might be more athletic than some of the males.
Ooh.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
I'm willing to go out on that limb.
That's true.
I have no problem saying that one.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick, I mean, Djokovic.
Djokovic. I would say
Djokovic is
yeah.
flexible.
Yeah,
Djokovic
he
is
could be
crazy.
doing some of those Serena moves with splits, and I mean, he does some crazy.
He's
stuff.
insane.
Yeah, Djokovic.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
interesting. This is interesting. Going back to different sports. All right, what else we got?
I don't know. I want to say baseball, but I think you already
Baseball.
You already picked baseball.
Did I? Dion. I
Yeah.
did. Anybody else looking at it now?
Dion and Bo.
Bo.
Bo,
for
both
in
of them.
football, Yeah,
Yep.
Bo. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. Bo is probably the one person that I've ever watched. Like very, very rarely, I feel like do I look at. And again, I have no problem admitting it. It's because I'm spoiled. It's absolutely the being born in '94 and growing up the way that I did. I caught Jordan on the way out. So the stories that I heard about Jordan, I was like, not the guy I saw, not the Wizards starting to guard right now.
Not the Allen Iverson and cross-up Jordan.
Not this one, right? You talking about this guy? So, so as I got older and I started to kind of like develop and just started to kind of branch out and look at these different sports, to this day, I don't think I've ever seen anything like Bo Jackson, like in either sport. Like, I don't think I've ever seen an athlete
What was
like
that
Bo.
highlight? I think it was a Monday Night Football game where he trucked Brian Bosworth in the end zone with the Seattle Seahawks. Like, they handed him the ball and he just trucked him. That right there, and then with the Royals when he took the bat and just, I mean, dude, he's strong.
It's a couple of them with the Royals. When he walked on the wall,
yeah.
when he made that flying catch and walked on the wall,
Bro, his
Bo
strength
is insane.
His strength and athleticism was by far probably better than anybody's. He was crazy.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to throw you both off right now.
Okay.
Because I know this isn't your favorite sport, but
Okay.
hockey. Is it Gordie Howe? Is it Wayne Gretzky? I don't.
Ooh, athletic.
Who's the hockey player we picked?
Athletic.
Wayne Gretzky, right?
Um,
He was just like.
My
Swift.
initial answer was Gretzky. I was gonna try to make an argument for Ovechkin, but I think Ovechkin might be the Kobe of hockey. Only reason why I say that is because I've seen Kobe take some shots where I've been like, dog, what the hell are you? All right, that's Kobe. He does that all the time. And every time you find yourself questioning his shot, you're like, damn, and then it goes in and you're like, all right.
Yeah.
So somebody said that Kobe was the best tough shot maker, I think, or difficult shot maker or something along the lines of that.
Okay,
And
so
I think
that
the same thing
sounds-
about Ovechkin.
That sounds good. Yeah,
So
that does match well.
probably Gretzky.
What about in his prime, Sidney Crosby? Is that? I mean, when he was in his prime, he was pretty quick on the skates. I mean, he
I
seemed
don't
like he
know.
had
I don't think he can
athleticism.
For what it's
compete
worth?
against The other two,
Against the other
right?
two? For what it's worth, a black kid in Inglewood, California, that was my brother's favorite hockey player. So that was Sidney Crosby's the reason why I got into hockey. So for what it's worth, I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, so I told you to read the book. I told you weeks
Yes,
ago I
yes.
was obsessed with this book, but it's funny to me as I'm reading this book and Wayne Gretzky's the greatest of all time, and his idol is Gordie Howe, and like his stories about Gordie Howe, I'm like, shoot. Now I don't know if Wayne Gretzky's
Right.
the greatest of all
Yeah,
time because he's putting him on this pedestal. You know, I guess it's hard with all sports because
I think it's not even hard with sports.
Different and the way they're played, right?
What not? I was about to say I don't just think it's solely limited to sports, only because I think about hip hop too. And
Yeah.
I mean, again, anybody who knows me, I've said it 1,000 times. J. Cole is my favorite rapper now, and I don't have the. How can I put it? I gotta choose my words wisely because somebody's gonna flip when they hear this. But I'm not the biggest fan of Nas. Never have been. And it's not that. I mean, lyrically, obviously, Nas is one of the greats, if not one of the. If you could argue the greatest lyrically. But I think the one thing with Nas that has always been with me, and as I got older, I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy because when I started hearing it, I was like, that's what I felt like. I felt like his beat selection. I honestly felt like it. So as I got older and other people started to say it, I was like, okay, cool. Like maybe that's why I didn't connect. When it hit me in high school that J. Cole's favorite rapper was Nas, I was like,
Woo! Sorry.
damn it.
Time out.
What happened? What just happened? Knights?
Knights
Go for the
scored.
Knights. See, if I didn't finish my shot, I would have took a shot.
We'll get back to that too because I made a bold prediction on Monday.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
So you got to make sure you get back to it. Don't apologize.
Finish about
Oh, nah. Trust me. That was just it. Just once I found out his favorite rapper was Nas, I kind of had to sit there and be like,
I'm backing you
All
up
right.
though. That J. Cole album, the latest one, fire.
man,
Fire.
you know what? Now
Fire.
it's an excuse just to take off the hoodie because it's hot anyway. But go ahead. You guys might have to feel the air.
Okay, so what he's saying is it's not just sports, it's just life in general. And
Yeah.
different things evolve, and you can't. we all want to compare, right?
Right.
Who's the greatest? Is Michael Jordan better than LeBron or Kobe? But it's
Right.
almost uncomparable.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody's always doing that though.
Yeah.
Who's better? Who's the best?
Exactly.
You know? Always. It's always how it is.
Okay, so we have another topic that we have to bring up because. So, I'll go ahead really quick. So the Knights on Monday, I wore my Knights jersey, and I said, I'm just gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say tomorrow they beat the Stars, and they're gonna take off.
I see that.
I had to do a little bit of promo. But go ahead. Back to the Knights.
Okay. So then we get done with our radio show, and I text T, and I'm like, guess what? The Knights just made a trade, and they just picked up Mark Stone. I was like, I didn't even know that before I said this, I swear. So he's like, yeah, you actually look like you know your.
Both
official.
of us
You look
looked
official.
Yeah, both of us looked like geniuses after Monday because I think on Monday I said Nolan Arenado was going to be your home run king, and he signed his extension the day after, and I was like, all right, Colorado, you heard me.
Look
Yes,
at
I
you.
did think about that too.
So yeah, so
I saw that.
hopefully we're gaining a fan base by being correct, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, if that's what it's gonna take, let's just keep it.
I just hope
going.
they stick around when we're wrong too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it with betting? You're a winner if you win like 51% of the time.
Yeah. Right.
It's something insane like that.
As long as you, I tell people all the time, anytime you come to Superbook or you come to a casino in general, long as you leave positive, long as you leave up,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. I don't care if you leave up $10. You left with more than you came with. Good job.
Sometimes even is good enough.
Yeah, it's just I don't like to. My only thing is, and anybody who knows me, I hate to feel like I'm wasting time. Like I hate idle time. Like I hate it with a passion. I have to feel like I'm doing something. Like even to the
Right.
point where if I'm playing the game at the house, I'm usually even if I'm not writing a story, in between timeouts and stuff, I'm taking notes about the story. Like I just try to keep doing something.
Right.
And surely enough, I feel like whenever you leave even, I wasted so much time. So it's one of those things. I would never say I would rather leave under, but
Right. No.
I don't know. But just the time, if you sit there at a table for an hour and you leave with what you walked up with, you be like, damn, I could have went somewhere else for this hour. I could have went and started a movie.
I don't know. I thoroughly enjoy blackjack, where I could sit there for a few hours. If I leave even, I'm happy because I really
Woo.
think it's fun.
So you play for the sport.
I guess.
You
I guess
might
I
be
could
better
say
than
that.
me. I don't know if I could do that.
Craps is a fun game. If you play it, you can have some fun. And
Craps is fun.
That will go for you could go for a long time just having fun, no matter how the money's getting turned out. You could have some fun.
Or
The only thing is
making
you have
most
to
of your money off the
sleep.
side bets.
That's true. That's
Shout out
true.
to Jordan. Jordan, I hope you're watching this. Shout out to Jordan for teaching me how to play craps. I don't even remember which Vegas stay that was, but that was a monumental stay.
But okay, with craps, you have to start out pretty large. Like you can't just walk in
Oh, yeah.
with $20. You gotta
Yeah.
like throw down a couple hundred
Yeah,
to even get you started.
Yeah.
That's the hard
My
part.
first night playing craps, this girl was hitting. She hit 4 hard 10s in a row, and I had the hard 10.
Oh,
I walked out with
awesome.
like $350 or something. I thought that's how it went every day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I was like, and then went
And
back,
then you realize
went
it's
back,
like,
yep, gave it all back.
yeah, it's not gonna work.
I always tell
not
this
working.
story, but I have to because it's just appropriate. So my dad is like a big time in with the sports betting. He used to make the line. He had a business, and yeah, so he's been with it forever. And shout out to Jay Cornegay too, because they're good friends. And
Thank
that's
you,
why we
Jay.
got this hookup, but. So he takes us to play craps, and it's like my first time playing too.
Yeah.
And I was killing it, right? And I'm like, just rolling. And then he got really serious at one point, like his gambling side of him. And he's like, Alex, just roll a 6. Alex, just roll a 6. I was like, Dad, I'm trying. I'm trying.
He started playing the mods. He's like, listen. He's like, this is how it goes.
He's like, we're gonna need you right now. No pressure, but this is the biggest role of your life.
Yeah, not to mention he coached baseball for his whole entire life too. So the coach came out in him too. So.
That's funny. That's funny. That's awesome.
Any coach, when you see them fold their arms, so I could only imagine having a father that's a coach and you see him fold his arms and you're just like, all right, I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what it is,
Yep.
but I got to figure it out.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Okay, so the next topic.
What's up?
Since
What's up? I
already-
got a couple over here.
Since I was already like bragging about the Knights, now I gotta be real and throw it out there.
Talk to me.
I told everyone I had a source, and Bryce was not
Oh,
going
you
to
got some explaining to
Philadelphia.
do. Oh, you got some explaining. I'm not letting you off the hook. You were so adamant on the podcast. You were like, nope, my source said he is not going to Philadelphia. What happened?
And the Giants made a try. They tried.
They made a last-minute push. Like, they really were trying to, like, bring that one home.
They tried.
So you ready to explain?
Yeah, okay, so Terrell texted me, he said, Alex, you lied to me. So I turned on the TV immediately.
There goes that being right on the show.
I'm saying. Yeah, see, there you go. It was short-lived. It was so short-lived.
We were good while it lasted.
You win some, you lose some. So I turned on the TV right away. And then when I see the deal, I was like, okay, come on. You can't. We talked about this a little bit. Like, obviously the Phillies just, like, jumped on it. And we're like, okay, 13 years. 330. Like, so he couldn't pass it up.
I wonder what those negotiations were like. They were like 10 years? No? 11 years?
11.
No? 12 years?
Yeah.
No?
Do you think
All right,
that
I'm not
even
going no
happened?
higher than 12. Okay, fine, 13.
I don't think that even happened. I feel like they heard the Giants,
Right.
which was 10 years for what, 310,
Yeah.
and they were like, okay, we got to do something better. 13, No, you feel like it's an auction.
I know.
I feel like they might have overextended their hand, and I think, and I have no intel with anybody that's near Bryce, but I feel like just with the number that they landed on, I feel like everybody was hovering around 10, and I feel like they seen that the Phillies were going to do anything to get him, so they were like, I think that's when they kind of started to play hardball, and I think Philly did probably go 11, and I think whether they were going to take it or not, they were like, nah, we need more. So he wants to retire here. So I think it was one of those things where they were like, well, how old is he? 26. We probably can't take it until 40. 12 years? No? All right, fine. Like, if we got to go up to 13. They probably were willing to go probably up to 14.
Yeah. I think him and his team set a new precedence for these big contracts because
You do?
I think what he did was he kind of showed commitment on his end with the no opt out and the no trade clause.
Absolutely he did.
I mean, the fans and everybody was getting tired of these big deals and watching A-Rod, with what happened with him.
I think I'm going to have to disagree with you.
Really? You think so?
I think Mike Trout gets the next
No,
big
I
deal,
agree.
And then I think it's going to die out.
I think Mike Trout gets a bigger deal, of course, too. But I think there's going to be more players having to come to the agreement of saying, like, hey, I won't leave if there's no opt out.
Okay,
I won't
okay.
leave.
Is
Like,
it
I'm
going to
here for
die
you.
out, though? There's always going to be another
don't
star
think
coming
so?
up. No, because I
don't
think
know.
about it now. So, like, let's say I don't even know what Aaron Judge's contract looks like right now.
Yeah.
But whenever his contract is up, he's probably due for a big payday. I don't think it's probably going to be near $300 million. I didn't think Manny's was going to be near $300 million, and I love Manny. But looking at that, like I look at a person like Gleyber Torres, and I'm gonna name a bunch of Yankees, but I look at somebody like Gleyber Torres. I look at somebody like Francisco Lindor. Again, I'm shooting from the hip. I'm not even sure of these people's ages, but I don't think it's gonna die out by any means.
I think the league wants it to. I think that's
They probably
why
wanted
it's
to.
been
That's
up
what
for
I'm
so
mentioning. The
long.
league and the fans obviously spoke, and obviously the owners were shy to it. But him coming to the table saying, listen,
But it's
I won't
Bryce-
leave.
But
and
it's Bryce Harper. I don't think very many other players can do the same thing and get what they want.
I think he's right. I think there's young guys that you never know, like
Okay.
Fernando Tatis Jr. with the Padres. They just
Yeah.
signed Manny Machado. When his contract's up, that dude shot a laser the other day in spring training. And I know it's spring training, but he shot a laser, left the park in like 5 seconds. They are gonna
Vlad
have to pay
Guerrero
him.
Jr.?
Yeah, they're gonna have to pay these guys.
If
And
Raul
what-
Mondesi Jr. rounds out and he can find his bat in the batter's box, he's gonna demand some money.
And it's like, what does
it'll be
these
some
numbers
people.
look like? What does the sky look like for these guys?
Well,
We don't
let's
know.
ask Corey what I asked you on Monday.
You know what? Before you even get to that, let's say
Okay.
1 second, restart this video, and we'll
Okay.
get right back to it.
Okay.
All right.
So let me ask Corey the same question I asked you on Monday.
All right.
Should the MLB have a cap like the NBA and the NFL?
I don't know. This season's so long. You got to pay these guys. I mean, that season's so long, and there's so much room for something to happen. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I honestly don't think these contracts have killed baseball so much. I mean, look at the teams that have won in the past few years. You have a new, whatever you want to call it, Moneyball, or just bringing your guys up from the farm system. You got Houston winning, and,
Right.
and Boston did it last year with not really that big of names,
That's true.
I don't think it's really killed the game too much. It's put some big markets out of play, though. Yankees, those years with the A-Rod, that really hurt them.
Right.
It's put some big markets out of play. Look at when Dodgers went and got all those trades from Boston that year. That really put them down. So, But I don't think as a whole it should be stopped.
Okay. So next question. How do you guys think the Phillies do this year?
World Series champs. No, I'm just joking.
I was about to be like, whoa.
They're hosting the trophy tonight.
Man, you know what's funny? I think they have a lot of good battles with Atlanta.
Yeah, oh, for sure. For
I
sure.
think those are some of the nastiest
For sure,
series.
for
Like
sure.
I think winding down and coming towards postseason time, those will be some of the series that we look back to, and I don't care whether it happened in June or July. We'll be look back and be like, that's what cost you guys
Yeah.
either making it, that's what cost you guys, or that's what forced you guys into a wild card position or whatever the case may be. But I'm looking at the competition in a division. That's where my
for sure,
mind went.
for sure.
I don't think it makes anybody a standout. Like,
Right.
I think it just adds more competition. I'll say.
Yeah. And I look at if you're talking World Series, I look at division leaders coming out of that. I think in the NL West, the Dodgers are true division leaders.
Right.
They're gonna get to the playoffs, and Central Division's
Wait,
gonna
wait,
be.
you're not that.
No, I am.
Okay.
I am. I just think it's inevitable that they slide. That's the only thing I'm saying. They're not going to look as great as they have
And Kershaw's
even the
hurt
past
again.
2 seasons.
Right, but they still have Padres rebuilding.
Kershaw is hurt again.
Okay, I was about to say I don't know if you were hitting me because
go to
of
a
Clayton, or if you're
This is my
hitting me
favorite.
because Brandon Ingram just posterized somebody.
No, both.
And I just saw
There's
the
a replay right
whole-
there. There's a replay right there, and you saw it live.
So to everybody that says he doesn't show emotion, there you go.
Yeah.
There it goes. I don't
Yeah,
think
but
anybody
you
can say he
said
doesn't
he-
show emotion when you try to knock Chris Paul head off his shoulders.
You said he is the one.
Brandon
that's
Ingram?
Yeah, that's actually.
That would have been
stepped
my
up and actually-
untouchable.
Right.
That would have been my untouchable.
Yeah.
If I was the Lakers, I would have been like, you can have anybody but Bron and Ingram. That's who you can't have.
Okay, I'm sorry. Back to
Oh, no.
baseball.
Yes, but nah, you were Corey was going through division leaders, but
Yeah, saying division leaders,
I
yeah.
agree with the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers are probably coming
get,
out
I'm
of
not
that.
saying they get there. They get the division
Mhm.
leaders, and then Central's going to fight it out. They're going to fight it out between Cubs, Cards, and Brewers. You know, I like Brewers in that division. I think Brewers come out on top.
Wait,
I
what
was
about
saying that
the
recently,
Reds?
too.
Because we've been talking about how much the Reds have.
They've
been
made so
doing
many
on their-
moves.
They
though.
have. But I look at Brewers as
Wow.
they got last year's MVP. They got the reigning MVP.
Right.
They got the reigning MVP on their team, and that pitching was pretty nasty last year. And I'm a Cardinals fan, so I watched that division pretty close. And I
Right.
got to tell you, the Brewers are a big threat.
Okay.
So I like Brewers in that division, but I mean, my point is I look at division leaders. When the Phillies get to the playoffs, like you mentioned, they're going to be in battles with Braves. By the time they get there, they may be a wild card, and then you got that play-in
Exactly.
game, and then how do you know you're going to get in the playoffs? Until, like, it's just
Exactly.
one game. So
Yeah.
at that point, it's like I really don't know. I think for them this year, it's just playoff or bust. I don't think they're looking World Series. I think they're looking playoff.
So the only, I guess, in the NL East, when you kind of look at it, the only team that is guaranteed out of it is the Marlins. I guess everybody else, you wouldn't be
Whoa,
surprised if they
whoa,
made.
That was emotional.
You think?
Whoa.
You think?
Who said the Mets are in for sure?
I knew that's what you were. I knew that's what you were hinting at.
That
Here
was
you go.
emotional, right?
Wait, time out. You can
that
say it's
was-
emotional
that
for
was.
one of two reasons. Why are you saying it's emotional? Give me one reason, and I'll confess on the other reason. Because it's probably two reasons why I'm emotional about it.
Because you're a Mets fan and you're a Jacob DeGrom fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a Mets fan, but I am a Jacob DeGrom fan.
Okay.
And then the second one was shout out to Robert Gazelman. I did it on the radio show.
Yes.
But yeah, shout out to my boy from high school. He is
Oh,
a Met.
he's the third.
Yeah.
He's the third.
He's the
strike
third.
here.
He's the third long. I don't even know what the name. Do they even have a name for the group?
No,
And anyway, it's only two of them now anyway, because Jacob cut his hair.
I know.
So it's only Thor and Robert at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean the NL.
Okay.
Phillies are not winning the championship this year. But that move made baseball more exciting, made
It
the Phillies
did.
more exciting.
It did.
And it really kind of made Bryce look like this is it now. This is your team. Like
Yeah.
you are now the guy they invested in. So it's pretty cool.
And
It's
then
pretty
gives
cool.
us hope for some super teams like the NBA, or
Right.
or me, anyways.
You know what interests
I'm
me
about
though?
the super teams like Mike
like
Trout,
those.
go there, please.
You want Mike Trout to go to the Phillies?
Wait,
Kinda,
can you
know?
chill?
Well, sorry.
Can you chill?
I'll chill. Sorry.
Please? Can
Sorry,
you not?
Angels
And
fan.
can you?
But,
Yeah. Can you
okay,
not
I
take
like
him
the
anywhere
Yankees.
else?
Yeah.
I like the Yankees with Stanton and Judge and Didi, and like I feel like
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of a
yeah.
super team.
Yeah.
Red
They
Sox,
are.
you said they don't don't have that many big names, but they're a super team.
Well, they have big names, but not guys that were like, not free agents that they went out and
Okay.
got to,
Yes, agree.
pay up.
But they're a super
no,
team,
no,
right?
Sure, Mookie Betts is great. I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not discrediting those guys. I just don't. They didn't go out and get a Bryce Harper. Or,
Right.
they didn't go get those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like,
They grew 'em up.
I'm kind of about it. Like,
Really quick, looking
Let
at
the
each of these
players-
divisions, the one thing that I do like about baseball, because you said Bryce Harper to the Phillies made baseball more interesting, but it's not like he left the division anyway. But one thing I'm looking at, you could look at every division, maybe with the exception of the AL Central, and say that there's probably like a legitimate superstar in each division. Because
Right.
if you look at Bryce with the Phillies,
Okay.
you can say Chris Bryant with the Cubs.
Right. Yep.
You can say
Now we're
Corey
just
Seager
naming
or Cody
Vegas.
Bellinger. Yeah, we are,
No,
kind of.
I'm
You can say Cody Bellinger or Corey Seager for the Dodgers. You can say Aaron Judge. I mean, you can say Mookie Betts, anybody from the AL East. Manny was over there. And then when you look at the AL West, of course, it's Mike Trout. Jose Altuve, it's a cup. Alex Bregman,
Yeah.
George Springer. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
lot of them. So, yeah, I mean, when you look at it from that perspective, I think even with the AL Central, I would probably say Francisco Lindor, but I think I've made it pretty obvious the last 2 weeks.
No,
He's
I
one of
think
my
you're-
favorite players.
I think you're pretty dead on with that.
So I think it's nice that every division has like a bona fide
When the
superstar.
Royals won, they had a few.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that was that year that they won. That was the definition of a team.
That was weird, right? Why? What?
It confused me.
They just
It confused me
didn't hold on to
so bad.
Well, and now Hosmer's with Padres.
Yeah.
He's over there.
Yeah.
And Moose is in Milwaukee.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was really weird how that went together and how it kind of fell
And Salvi's
apart
hurt.
real quick. But, the AL Central also, too, it's kind of crazy because the Cleveland Indians, they're going to win that division probably, but I don't see them going anywhere after that.
Well, but they
Nope.
win the division every year, right?
Right,
And then they
right.
can't do anything
No.
after that.
No.
But it's always the Indians. The Indians, don't they have great pitching?
If they keep Corey Kluber.
Yeah.
But I think he's coming to the Angels. I've already said that once.
Yeah,
You
he's
do?
up there. Yeah, he's up
I
there.
think he's coming to us.
Okay, that's
I really
cool.
do. That's why I haven't said too much about it, because I really think that we might snag him.
Now, I don't
a
wanna
lot of
start
people are so
conflicts
quiet.
here. I know it's my first show.
Uh-oh.
The Angels.
Uh-oh.
When are they going to stop acquiring talent and actually put it together?
Wait.
They got Shohei. They got Trout.
It's so funny how he thinks that he's about to start
Showtime.
controversy.
I know.
And I've been asking the same shit since my senior year of high school.
Okay, good.
Um,
Because we've been saying,
I
like,
have
can
no
you
clue, no
please
clue.
do something so Mike Trout wants to stay with you?
Right, well, for sure. Well,
when
that
they
was-
said we were in the Bryce Harper hunt, I was like, no, we're not. And
Yeah.
everybody was like, yeah, on the other side of Mike Trout. No, that's your fandom playing in. We haven't done anything in the last 5 years to prove to Bryce that we're better off than the Nationals.
Right.
We're not.
Well, and also, too, I think a lot of teams were dipping their toe in the beginning, just seeing where
Oh,
they
yeah.
stood. But then once it came out, I want a long-term deal, I want all this money, a lot of teams started weeding out. They were like, oh, we're good.
How
Exactly.
did Los Angeles doesn't have that? They
It's
can't?
not that. I think just, and this is just my personal opinion, I believe that it is going to take somebody with a different type of demeanor to say, hey, you know what I mean, I want to stay in Anaheim, or even if the team moves to Long Beach, whatever the case may be. You're going to get somebody that comes in and say, hey, I want to change this. But I have no problem saying we're the Clippers of baseball. We're the little brother. So you're right. LA does have the money, but if they're going to come for the money, rather be a Dodger.
You have to read this because I had to take a picture. That is
The estimated impact? Okay. Okay, so the estimated game tickets sold since the news of the Harper deal is probably over 100,000 now.
Wow.
Good gosh. The change from the get-in price for the home opener went from $48 to $86. And the change for the get-in price from Philadelphia's first visit to
Why?
Washington, which is April 2nd, which is coming up.
Angels, why didn't you make a move? Please, you're so close
From
to us.
16 to
We can drive
34.
to those
See, and
games.
this is-
We want that.
This is what you were asking originally.
Mm-hmm.
Do they put a cap on it? This is why you don't, because of that stuff right there.
Right.
And if they
'Cause you're
win-
making it back.
if they win 2 World Series with this dude, all the
Oh,
merchandise,
man.
all the TV rights,
You're going to
everything.
make a lot of that back off his jerseys alone.
Yeah, it's
You guys, Philadelphia is like, I've never been there. I'm sorry, everyone.
you
But
better.
that's my least
I wanna go to
favorite
Philly so-
city.
really?
I don't
Philly?
I don't like the
I wanna go to
Flyers
Philly.
very much, or the Flyers fans. The Eagles really rubbed me the wrong way last year. No,
I can see the I can see the Eagles. I can see
No.
that one.
the Philly. So
What you got against the Sixers though?
Oh, I don't. You know I love the Sixers.
Okay,
actually.
okay. That
That's
is
my
true. That is
favorite
true.
Philadelphia team.
I've never been to Philly. I've been to San Fran. I got to tell you, I don't know why he didn't pick that place. It is a great city. It's
Because
like
have
the
you
New York
seen
of
their
the West.
colors?
It is the New York of the West.
It's the New York of the West.
it's
like
not,
the
you
big,
guys.
big buildings. You know,
We are the New York of the West. Las Vegas is.
It's I don't know. It's like we're like
You guys
the
weren't having that.
we're like the Manhattan of the West, I guess, or like something like Times Square or something. But like, it's just got a different feel. It's got a different feel to it than other California
But
places.
the
like you go
Giants'
there.
colors are bad.
Yeah,
You
but
know
wait,
what?
You know what
It-
color
Rice
he's
would
got? You
not
know what
look
color
good
he's
in
got?
orange.
Green. He's got green as the color right now.
I hope it's
He
not
was-
super like disrespectful. I don't think it would be. Vegas might be closer to like the Chicago of
that is
the West.
disrespectful.
I don't think so.
That
I don't think
is.
so. When you look at because I've never been to Chicago, but when you look at Chicago and you look at the history that they have in Chicago,
Yeah.
and how many people go just to sightsee, I think that's kind of the same thing with Vegas. Like, it's just so much history here. People just want to come and say that they ate at Treasure Island or whatever the case may be. They saw Caesar's Palace, things like that. That's what I kind of
Went to
attested to.
Wrigley Field, like-
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can see people just coming just to see
I don't
whatever
like
the
that.
case may be.
I don't like that comparison.
It might be more spot on, I'm telling you. But you know what? Frisco
I want it to
being
be
the
New
New
York.
York of
I
the
would've-
West
I
might
would've
be
went there.
it
I
might
would've
be
went
on.
there. I would have took that deal and I would have just said, "Yo, kick in 10 more million and I'm good. Like I'm there." But, you know, that's just me.
And
Okay, but
I
here's
said it
the-
last season too. You guys are gonna stop disrespecting Andrew McCutcheon, which by the way
No.
he's in Philly as well.
Yes. No,
Yep.
that's gonna be
Yep.
great.
That outfield is crazy.
Yeah, no, they got a good
Outfield
lineup.
is so
They got a
crazy.
good lineup. They got a good squad over there. They're definitely going to get some wins. They're definitely going to be successful.
Right.
I just don't think World Series. This
Not
year.
first season.
No.
Does
No.
any baseball team win it first season when they like construct their team? I don't think it's ever been done
I don't
first
think
season.
So. I don't think so.
You think?
so.
I don't know.
I mean, you might have to do a little bit more research, but I don't know. Like, I feel like you can create a super team in basketball in 2 months and win it all 8 months later, or whatever the case may be. Baseball, I just don't think it works that way.
Baseball's just such an individual
Right.
sport at the same time, right? Like you
But then I
can't
feel like you should have more
control
of a
if a guy's
chance
in a
to
slump.
win it, though.
really. I don't
If you're
know.
building a super team, I
It's a
feel like.
day-to-day grind, though, man. It's just day-to-day. It's like it's actually like literally going to your job because you go there and it's just like you have good days, bad days, ups, downs. Where
Oh,
with
man.
football, 16 days or 16 weeks out of the season, you're just like, yo, do one thing 1 day a week. Like that's all you got to do.
All right, so I'll let you guys choose where we go next. You guys want to go mystery, limos, or LeVar Ball?
Go ahead, Corey. You're the guest.
What was that second one? Limos?
Limos.
Go limos.
Limos. All right, so we're going to knock out the limos first. So I heard this story today about, I don't even know where it is. Maybe I can do a little bit more research, but I'm going to tell you just the overall that I heard. I was told that
I'm nervous.
some schools are banning, because I'm trying my best not to say nothing like super controversial, but I feel like I might. I was told that there were a couple of certain school districts that are banning limos from proms because they don't want students to get into like, I guess like a classist situation. Bro, if y'all don't man the fuck up, I didn't have a limo for prom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a Chrysler and I thought I was the shit.
Yeah,
Like I was like, you
yeah.
can't touch me. So the idea of like I can't have a limo because Jimmy feels some type of way.
Right.
Jimmy, approach me, bro, and
Right.
maybe you can get in the limo with me.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I don't know.
That's
man.
what I'm saying.
That's the corniest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I think the whole point is to try to get in with the kid with the limo. Like you have to work your angles here. That's
That's how you network.
Hey, and that's how you do in adulthood. That's what you do in
That's
adulthood.
true.
We're trying to help kids out for the future. That's how you do it in the adulthood. You got to network. Yeah, no,
Exactly.
that's wrong though. That's dirty.
To completely just rule it out is crazy to me.
That's crazy, dude.
What did you guys take to prom?
Wait.
I don't even know. Like I
Where
heard,
is this?
I got wind of the story like
Okay,
an
you don't
hour
know what
before I
state
came in.
or-
I have no idea which
Okay.
state. I have
Okay.
no idea whether it's just a school. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
But
We always
It's the
took
weirdest thing in the
a
world.
Party bus.
a party. See, that's lit in itself.
Yeah.
So then, see, now I have questions because if a person's in high school and they don't want a limo, but they get a party bus, it's the same.
Oh yeah, no,
It's the
that's-
same
Concept.
feel. Yeah, it's the same aesthetic.
They
Even.
have to ban them off.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't come up here in an SUV. Like, get a Tahoe out of here.
Yeah.
So what if
Suburbans.
somebody pulls up in a horse and carriage?
That's sweet.
Like that's.
That's game changing right there.
Yeah.
Now the principal's like, what do I do? He's like, God, you just threw him in a conundrum.
Oh my gosh! I was just about to say he pulled a Mr. Burns from The Simpsons.
Yeah. He's like, excellent.
Oh my gosh! Shout out to Christian Wood too, a UNLV product on the television.
Yes.
I took a limo to prom though.
Did you get limo to prom?
Yeah, but we all chipped in, and like
That's usually how it
It wasn't like the
goes.
biggest, like it wasn't the greatest limo though. Was
It never is.
Like
No.
yeah, it wasn't like
It never is. It always has the little drinks on the side that you
Yeah,
can't open
yeah,
anyway.
Yeah.
It's
You're looking
pointless.
at your friend, you're like, don't do that. We owe that. We don't do it.
You hear one of the things pop. Everybody stop talking. You just start looking around. Who got something in their hand,
Yeah.
bro? Put that back.
No, but for real though, at prom, our limo driver got us beer.
Oh,
I
that's so
shouldn't-
dope.
I shouldn't have said that in front of probably my parents now, but he got us beer. He
I
got
was
us
about
beer.
to
Yeah, he got us an 18 pack, came back with it, and we partied all
You didn't
night.
give his
my
you didn't give
God.
his name, so you're safe.
Yeah,
Trust
yeah,
me,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
you're
yeah, there
super
you go,
safe.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's
Shout out to
safe.
that limo driver.
No,
I didn't.
for real, dude, he was so cool.
Let me know if you're in the Vegas area, because we can definitely work some things out on campus. But I mean, yeah, I mean that was
That's crazy.
that was
That is
confusing to
so
me. I didn't
crazy.
get that one.
That's messed up.
I didn't get that one. I think at the same time too, you're depriving kids of. A lot of people don't get married,
Oh yeah.
so prom is like, and then if you do get married, prom is usually that first thing. Like prom is that first thing where you figure out, okay, this is what I want. Like it's your first chance to really. I mean, that was my first chance to probably like organize my party. Where it was really like, I want this, like, nah, I don't want this. This person can't come. Like, that was my first chance to
That's
really
true.
get my opportunity to be an adult. So I think taking and picking the car was a part of that.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
ironically enough, I graduated in 2012. I just didn't want a limo because everybody else had one. So I reached out to one of the family members who actually had a Chrysler. I think it was a 300. Yeah, I think it was a 300 because I've driven a 200. And like I said, it usually that's part of the show in itself. What'd you pull up in? Like, so I mean, I don't know. To take that away is, I mean, you might as well just have them all ride the school bus together.
Well, and it's like you're proud of showing up in your Chrysler 300,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So now you're teaching kids not to be proud of.
Of what they have, or what their resources can bring
Exactly.
in,
Yeah.
and I think that's just the wrong thing to do. But I feel like I'm in the Superbook, but again,
sorry,
I've already
I'm
said
so
what happened.
distracted.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say
I-
we're about to low key end this podcast now because I keep hearing poker chips, and I might have to go find a table or something.
It is
but
Friday night.
it
It's
is a Friday
Friday
night.
night.
It is a Friday night. Night before senior night. Maybe it's some good luck in the city. But like I said, I just had a couple of other things I want to touch on. We could touch on the mystery topic or LeVar Ball. Actually, I'm going mystery topic. I'm not ending on that negative shit.
Okay.
So, the reason why I'm going mystery topic next is because tell me that you guys heard. It's not a funny situation, but I really got to stop smiling. Because did you guys hear that? Obviously, you guys heard about R. Kelly getting arrested and obviously whatever.
Yeah.
You heard that he had posted bail, things of that nature. Did you hear how that situation took place?
Him posting the bail?
Yes.
No.
Wait, I'm kind of late to the party.
Okay,
So
all right.
There was a documentary, right?
Mhm.
And like a bunch of women spoke out.
Yep.
So then that's why he got arrested. Okay. So
And that's
where
yeah,
I am.
and that's what they pretty much hemmed him up for. And he posted bail, right?
Okay.
There was a mystery woman that posted his bail. Again, this is one of the situations to where I don't even really care to delve into why she posted his bail per se. It's just the one thing that I kind of wanted to kind of touch on was it amazes me not only how people continue to support him, but how women continue to support him. It's just the craziest thing in the world.
This is not a good topic.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm not ending on this. We're not gonna end on this one.
I do not want to like jag on all these women right now.
No.
He's wearing-
Oh no, I'm not talking about the victims. I'm talking about the people that still continue to
I'm
show up
just
at his
saying,
shows.
She
The
might
people that's-
even be a victim. You don't know. but
That
women-
is another good point.
I know. It's
Yeah.
insane. I can't talk.
That's
about
the
this.
sick part.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the sick part. And like I said, and that's kind of what it goes into, because even and again, like I said, mind control goes deep. Like it can be severe.
For sure.
So, I mean, again, you don't know what type of mental stranglehold he has on some of these women.
That's
but,
true. That's very true.
Right.
That's
I would just
scary.
assume and I would hope that whatever the stranglehold was, once he's in jail, you realize that's no longer on you.
Yeah.
Like that stranglehold has been lifted.
Yeah.
So at me working under that assumption leads me to believe you acted in I don't even know the word, like, but you acted in the utmost confidence in him. Like you acted in the sense of this man doesn't belong in here.
Right.
And that's just the part that confuses me.
Well, you know, like abusive relationships and whatnot, they always come back and they always say they're so sorry
And isn't
and they'll
this-
never do it again. I mean, I'm sure.
And isn't this what happens, like, kind of like in prostitution? You got the pimp that's like, controlling, and she never feels like she can get out from under, and they just keep doing the vicious cycle. That's where I think he's kind of in right now. He is that, like, guy. And that's why these women feel so loyal to him, because they feel like it's a mind control thing. He puts them down and everything, right? I mean, I don't know.
No, honestly, reason why I'm looking at you that way, because I've never heard anybody say that, and you probably make the most sense out of anybody I've ever talked to about the situation. Because it's easy to look at the victim that he's dealt with and say, oh, you guys suffer from Stockholm syndrome. I get it. Like, you guys have developed a sympathy level for the person who's forcing you to be a victim right now.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, hell, you might be onto something.
I'm sorry.
Switch it. If you're going to switch the topic, switch it.
I regret learning every chapter to his Trapped in the Closet.
Oh,
It makes you look at everything he's ever written and be
dude, I
like,
used to listen to him a lot back in the day. Like when he
Right?
was with, I forget what that hotel room girl you want to hotel.
oh man, oh my gosh,
forget
Holiday
Nick
Inn.
Cannon,
No,
yeah,
it wasn't
or no.
Holiday Inn.
I forget what song it was.
Uh-oh.
It might have been Hotel
But
Room.
yeah, I thought it
Yeah,
was
I
like
think
him
it
and
is.
Cassidy or something.
Yeah, I was about to say it was Cassidy.
Yeah.
It was Nick.
We used to
oh
listen to
my-
that a lot, and like in high school, I was always at the parties and stuff. And now to think like this dude's went into this, it's crazy. It's crazy to see how they go.
I mean, you look at any. Well, I'm not gonna say any, but especially in my black household growing up, every wedding is an R. Kelly soundtrack. So,
Yeah.
wow, man. So I'm not. Yeah, absolutely.
crazy.
And I haven't even watched the documentary either, and.
No.
Just to see the reaction about it, I mean, and especially living at the time when a lot of the beginning like accusations were coming out and things like that, and seeing my parents deal with, or interact with media in terms of, or at that time, I was shocked that it kind of took so long.
Right.
I mean, that's why it's still kind of shocking to see people still come to his defense. And I mean,
How old is he?
it's a good question.
Yeah, I don't
What do
know.
you think?
He's easily into his 40s.
Yeah, that's a legit question.
Because you're right. This did take a long time. That's why it's almost like I got to be careful on my words here, but
I'm
it's
trying
like,
to.
I don't really have an interest to watch his documentary now.
I
and
have
guess-
no interest to watch that.
Right? And
I have
it's
no interest to
terrible
watch
because
that.
it's real life and it is.
Right.
Guess his age right now.
48.
I'm gonna go under that.
Under?
Yeah.
You were closer. 52.
52? 52.
R. Kelly's 52 out there still running games on people. Like, you're too old for this.
Yes.
You're too old to be
Yes.
doing this.
And if he's been doing this since allegedly like the latter part of the 90s,
Yeah.
that means he was.
Yeah, that's really,
That's nasty.
really
That's gross. That's gross. Yeah, we're getting off of
That's
this.
like
I was about to say now I gotta
Okay.
search through my
Now we have
Yeah.
to end with
through my.
Now
through-
let's end with Robert Kraft. No, just
I was about to say now
He's a
let me see if I
Rams
can figure
fan.
something out.
He's a Rams fan.
yeah, really. Yeah,
let's
that's the only
see.
validation I got out of the Super Bowl is their owner might be going to jail.
Oh,
You know what?
no.
And right on cue, I'm playing the "We're Still Here" chant. I'm sorry, I didn't. Again, we play that here a lot because we're surprised we're still on air after the first episode. Because it was a shot in the dark, and we were like, "Oh, you guys are gonna let us actually keep doing this podcast thing? Okay, cool." But the last thing, and again, I don't ever give shout outs to this person, but just so happens that I might be doing it this particular time. But at some point, you gotta just call a spade a spade. And shout out to that too. I just got another dog, by the way.
What? You did?
Yeah, and you know what made me reminded me of it? Because
You named
you've
him?
already met Ace.
Yeah.
His name is Spade.
Cool.
And he is
So
a
we are
Husky
going to play
Lab mix.
blackjack after.
Yes, we are.
Ace of
Absolutely,
spades.
we are. Ace of
That's the
Omen.
spades.
That's the omen.
Ace of spades.
Woo.
So, which by the way, I feel like I should own some stock in that drink, but never mind. But he's a Husky Lab mix, so he looks like Ace's little brother. So I had to jump on that. He's at my parents' house right now. I was thinking about going to LA tonight and getting him, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But let's just call a spade, and at some point you gotta commend the tenacity of it.
I can't believe you're doing this right now.
I have to.
I can't believe
Because
you're doing this right now.
I'm going to give some credit to LeVar Ball. And I don't ever do it. But the reason why I'm going to give credit to LeVar Ball is because LaMelo didn't make the McDonald's All-American game. He didn't make the Jordan Brand Classic, and he didn't make the Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson has one now. He didn't make Iverson's either. So, of course, this summer, there will be, actually not even this summer, next month. Or actually, no, it's this month. March 31st.
Don't say it.
At the Orleans Arena here in Las Vegas will be the first annual Big Baller Brand All-American game. Where's the air horn?
Wait, no, we about to figure this out. No, shout out to LeVar Ball for being the walking definition of you can't tell me no.
I guess.
No,
Jeez.
he did it.
He's starting his own All-American game. Yo,
Have you seen that video go viral of his shoe?
Which one?
That one he came out with
the Zo2s?
I don't know, the one that first came out, the one that he first.
Oh, the
initially-
very first one.
Yeah, it like fell apart. Like some dude bought it online and opened the box. The box ripped apart. The shoe was all flimsy. Like it was bad, dude. It was bad.
I'm not going.
These are the
If you're
reasons
trying
why
to say
I've
that
ignored
we're
it.
going, we're not
I think I'm going.
Oh my
You're going.
God.
I think I'm going.
Well, it's like a car crash. You got to go see. Like,
At
you know,
this
you're
point,
like-
it's a spectacle. I kind of want to see it. I'm not
That's
necessarily
crazy.
I'm not wishing for a negative turnout, but I just think that it's not gonna be what he thinks.
But that's the genius of him,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
That's the genius of
absolutely.
him.
You
He's
gotta
like
give him credit
WWE.
for that.
He's WWE. He's like, listen.
Yes.
This is my brand. I'm loud. I'm pushing it. Like that's what he wants. This is awesome. Like the
Exactly.
XFL.
I'm
You know,
gonna-
like,
that's
no one thinks
exactly
they're-
what
no
it
one
is.
thinks they're gonna take over the NFL. No one thinks they really got a shot, but they're gonna go out and do their thing.
We're gonna tune in and watch the train wreck.
Yeah.
Whoa. You actually have been watching the AAF, haven't you?
A couple games.
Sorry,
A couple games.
next time you.
A couple games,
Next time
I
you
did.
join us.
Are we
we'll talk
kidnapping
about
them for the podcast? Hopefully that we can do at the
Yes,
stadium that day.
Yes.
A
We should
couple
kidnap
games.
him.
Yeah.
We should kidnap him.
Championship, if you're down.
For real?
Yep.
Let's roll.
I wanna see if we can secure a spot on the roof.
Yeah.
roll.
This LA Clipper Sacramento King game is crazy. What were we talking about? Oh, the stadium. Yes. I want to try to secure a spot on the roof to make sure we can do a podcast. If we can get there as the game is getting ready to start, my idea is if we could run the podcast through the first half, maybe through the first part of the third quarter, fourth quarter, head to the field, watch it all play out.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good, and I think it'd be a good opportunity
Yeah.
to have a
Let's
full 3-hour podcast or so, and then just bring in different people, just cycle in different people, different voices.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
That'd be fun.
But I don't know if I'm going to.
The Big Baller
Orleans,
Brand All-American
yeah.
game? Why not? Shit, I'm asking. I play. I'm not in high school. And I'm gonna be like, you need a body? I got you.
Okay.
I'm.
They will definitely take
They
you.
might
I have a
need
feeling They
bodies.
will definitely take you. I feel like that will be open for invitation.
So I should show up.
Yes.
I should show up.
Yes.
So he
PG2s
really
laced and
is-
everything. All right, I think I'm gonna do it.
Definitely.
I have to go back to this. He is the definition of I'm not taking no.
Yeah,
For sure.
you can't tell me no.
For sure.
So you're saying you gave him a shout out.
That's fun, and
on
I
our
never do
podcast
it.
If we ended with him, so you're saying we all need to be a little bit more like him in the sense of don't
Yes.
take no for an answer.
Yes.
I wish I had.
Wait a
it.
minute,
I
time
wish
out.
I
You
had
know
it.
what's so crazy? I'm really about to end this podcast because I just gave everybody advice to not take no for an answer after an R. Kelly segue.
Oh my.
All right, y'all. That's enough for me. Obviously, this is too much. I don't need to do this anymore.
Why did you have
It's been a beautiful episode. What's the name of this episode? We'll figure it out later.
something?
I'm not gonna allude to the word no, but again, Corey, thanks for joining us. My hands are sweaty. I've been holding the microphone, but appreciate you.
Thank you so much, guys. It was great.
It's been fun. Until next time,
Catch
guys.
us on Monday.
Yes. Talk that talk. 91.5 KUNV, the Rebel HD2 UNLV.
Keep on talking.